Part 2 of the training video for the Quickstart for Paperless Pipeline. We just finished up talking about the generic email address to send documents. If you look back on transactions, your transactions again are listed. If you open one of them up, like here, you will see that it's just like opening up the folder, right? That used to be up front. Now with the transaction, you also have an email address. See where it says mail drop right here? This email address is specific for this transaction. In this case, it's 6 Finch Court. So anything that gets sent to this email address goes into the 6 Finch Court transaction. So again, if I send, say, an email that the seller had sent me into this mail drop, it will become part of the transaction folder permanently. Okay. The way to see the emails that are assigned to this transaction, you go up to the emails tab right here, and this will show you all the emails for this transaction. Okay, so if you look, here was a forwarded offer from one of a buyer's agent for this property that I got the offer as an email and I want it to be part of the transaction. I forwarded it to this big long mail drop here and it became part of the transaction. To make it easier for you to send things to these big long emails, because each transaction will have its own, I made a contact in my email client that is 6 Finch Court with this email address. So now even if I'm using my phone and I forward to 6 Finch Court, it goes right to this email address and into the transaction. The other thing the transaction folder will show you is the checklist. If you click on the checklist, you'll see the items that are required for the listing documentation. These are the things that we keep to be able to show the real estate commission, etc. And if you look for this transaction, everything is in here. So when the transaction closes, I'll be able to get my paycheck because I have all the documents. So before you close out or you go to a closing, make sure everything is into Paperless Pipeline that you need. So when you give the check to Janet, she can cut you your commission check. Each of the individual documents are in Paperless Pipeline. If you look, here's the warranty form. Now when you mouse over it, it gives you a preview of what it looks like. If you actually wanted to open it up, you would click on it and then another screen would open and show you exactly what the document is. And from this screen you could you could print the document out. Okay? You would just go down right to here and print. There's also the ability to say the lead paint, for example. If the agent was from out of the area and didn't have access to the Middlesex MLS where the lead paint was, you would be able to click on the email and a little slip will pop up and put in the email address for whoever you wanted to send the lead paint to, click send email, and the document would go to them. So you wouldn't have to worry about coming into the office and faxing it to them, etc. All right. Finally, on this, there's a thing called third-party contacts. If you want to add a lawyer or the seller or an inspector, to the transaction, and it'll keep stored over here. So how I did that was add one now. You would put in their name, what they're doing, whether it's inspector, agent for the buyer, whatever. Hit add person, and then it'll be shown over here in this third-party contacts for the transaction. Okay, that ends part 2 of the Quick Start for Paperless Pipeline.